What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to be talking about Delicious. So, click like and subscribe because you may not want to after you watch Delicious. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. I'm a blind film critic. I predominantly watch films with audio description and accessibility and talk about it and try to further the medium. This one was this one's fine. I didn't really hate the audio description. It's hard to tell though with because the film is not great if the audio description is just not telling me what I need to know, or if maybe the film just is not pulling, is if the film is just pulling its punches and not, and just doesn't want to have a good script. So Delicious. What to say about Delicious? So I always like to go to IMDb just to see cast and director and stuff like that. And I went down to user reviews. It doesn't have a very high IMDb rating right now. Every single user review that it had populated was a 1. Like every single person hated this movie. It's not a 1, but it's not a 10 or 9 or 8 or 7 or 6 or 5. It's probably a 4. So it's kind of where it is right now. I think it's got a fair rating on IMDb. It could go down to a 3 and I wouldn't blink. Yeah, it's not great. It's kind of a story that you've seen before. Netflix is advertising it as like, if you can stomach it. So, spoiler alert, but it's about cannibalism, in case you couldn't figure out from a movie called Delicious, and Netflix's little, I don't know, plot spoiler for the film. When you look at it, when it tells you what the movie's about, it kind of leans heavily into, like, suggesting that, that this movie's gonna go off the rails. I mean, sort of, but it gets kind of dumb. Like, at the beginning, it suggests some things. Thematically, it's there. Feels like French Parasite. Or German. I don't know what the original language was. It's hard to tell because it's a German family that's vacationing in France, and I listened to it with the dubbing, so it's probably German. That would make more sense. So the dubbing was fine. I didn't have any problems with the dub cast. I thought they did a good job. Every once in a while I hear a dub cast, I'm like, nope. These guys were fine. So the family, they go to their French villa, and along the way they pick up this sort of injured stranger who wreaks havoc on their lives. But yeah, basically it's a class system thing. These are wealthy people and she's not, and she's just using them and working her way into the whole situation and trying to manipulate things and use the various characters for different things. So, yeah, I mean, so there's a scene, I guess spoilers ahead because I need to talk about why this movie doesn't work for me. So early on, it does kind of give you some gore to where you're like, okay, so this movie's going to go there. But not like full on, but it's got some suggestions of gore, and she finds like meat like under the bed, and she's like, what is this? I'm like, I don't know, man, there's meat under your bed. I mean, like, that's disgusting. But like, people don't react to things in the way that you think that they would, and then the movie like makes choices and it just doesn't make any sense. So there's a character that finally realizes that she's in danger, and she goes into the bathroom, and then I don't know if it's like metaphorical or literal, but she like washes her hands and like gets on her face, and then like the drain does this thing where it spews blood everywhere, but then like nobody reacts to her like she's covered in blood, you know. I don't know, was that real, or did she imagine it? Was that like part of her like horrifying reality, like, oh, I'm screwed? Or was there actual blood that came out of there? I was confused because of the audio description. So that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes, but nobody reacted to it. You know, she just comes out of the. If somebody comes out of the bathroom and they're covered in blood, somebody would react. Even if they were all bad guys, they'd be like, "Oh shit, damn, that's a that's a shit ton of blood." You know, like I'm saying, like somebody would have some sort of reaction to it, but everybody just kind of stares at her like they're the pod people. Uh, and that's kind of the thing is that when she's about to leave, the main cannibal girl is like, "You lost. We are many. We are everywhere." And like the her little cannibal clan like moves in on her, and it's just like, uh, that's a really dumb speech. Uh, so, and we see a little bit of cannibalism happening. She opens the door to another room where there's like somebody's eating from a body. So I don't know. I mean, it's nothing that you. It's. I was like, well, I sat through Bones and all. We'll see. It doesn't ever get to Bones and all. Like it Acting really doesn't even get to Walking Dead. Um. So some of the other kills are just like, one of them. I don't even know what happened to her. Like she just disappears. um. Truthfully, I have no idea what happened to Cora. She like goes outside to like kick them out, and the audio description just never brings her up again. She's just, I don't know, she disappeared and vanished. Um, the father he keeps like throughout the movie he keeps like staring at the ceiling like there's something wrong in the attic, and he goes, but there's never any payoff because he's about to go in the attic, and then like the cannibal clan finds him, so he never gets to go in the attic, and we never see him react to anything up there. So it's all just this bullshit setup that never had the payoff to it. It's like he just keeps going like, "What's in the attic? What's in the attic? What's in the attic?" I was like, a better director would have shown us what's in the attic, and then had him turn around and then had somebody behind him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they wouldn't have just played the attic as being this thing, and this that he kept bothering with. It's like what is up there? Have him see it. You know, you can't keep showing the same character staring up at the ceiling and going like, I should. What's up there? What's going on up there? You know, and then finally he goes up there, and it's like he stops while he's on the ladder. It's just like, I don't know. Anyway, uh they have two kids. The daughter ends up being taken with them, which is so bizarre. Like she, I guess, becomes part of the cannibal clan, and then the son is left with, and the audio description was about the ants. Like there were these ants that were crawling rapidly fast to this meat. First of all, this kid like just sees some meat that's been left out, and he's just like, I'm just gonna have some of this meat, uh, and put it in the microwave, you know, and just random meat. He doesn't know what it is. He's just like, I'll fucking eat anything, you know, and it's like I know it's supposed to be a gross scene because it's like we all know what it is, but he's a dumbass. So like that scene didn't work for me at all because it's like, and he's dipping it in gravy, you know, and I'm like, of course he is. Like we all know what this is. So, and then he like finds a ring in his mouth, and that's the big catch. Like he's like, oh, it's like, why is there a ring there? Like, how did you bury the ring into the meat? You know what I'm saying? Like, what part of the body is there a ring? Anyway, but the ants crawling like they were, you know, rapidly, like the ants were like speed walking to this meat. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. Last year we had Under Paris. Under Paris was kind of fun. It wasn't great, but it was fun. Like it was like the French's version of Sharknado. This is just stupid. This is just not a good movie. It thematically sometimes has a little bit of a mood where you're like, ooh, things could happen, but it really doesn't know what it's doing. It's so incompetently directed, so poorly written, that it's hard to really manifest anything. And I don't even know, like Netflix is trying to ramp up the shock value, and it's like there really isn't shock value in this. We just saw The Substance last year. You know, we've got people watching Terrifier movies. Like I went into this going like, well, let's see if it's worse than Bones and All. Not even close to Bones and All. You know, it's just And they're trying to act like this is the incendiary movie. People online are trolling this movie. Even the Parents Guide has violence and gore at moderate. I would say, I mean, it's got to be at least severe from a realistic standpoint, but um, frightening, intense scenes, I could hit that on that and say the movie's just not frightening or intense. So it's TVMA, and it's pretty obviously about one thing. Uh, I'm not super stoked that I saw it. One of the worst movies I've seen in 2025 thus far. Probably won't be the worst movie I've seen in 2025, but it's not a great start to the year in terms of international film on Netflix. So delicious. It's like shitty Parasite. If you wanted to watch Parasite, if you were like watching Parasite and you're like, I want to see more of this, but I want it to suck, what would that be like? It would be this. We've done this class system thing before, Eat the Rich. That's all been done before. This is just doing the same thing that other films have done before. Even films that don't have cannibalism, that are just like a class system thing, like last year, Coup with Peter Sarsgaard. Like other films are doing this and they're just doing it better. This film has nothing to say. So I'm giving Delicious a D. I think there was something there and they just didn't know what to do with it. Sometimes the film is completely void of anything at all. And there are at least times in Delicious where I was like, well, we could maybe cobble together something out of, give all of the footage to a better director and see what they do with it. And maybe we'll get a little bit better of a movie, but this is just not good. So, yep, that's Delicious. I wouldn't recommend it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.